Hey everyone, I'm Scott Cunningham, aka Scottsy Business, and today we're here with Andrei Poliakov, who is the CEO and co-founder of Coinberry. If you want to just start off by giving a little introduction, that'd be awesome.
Sure. So my name is Andrei. I am one of the original co-founders of the company. We started the company about over 2 years ago now, and I was always sort of had an entrepreneurial spirit as part of my third business now that I've been involved in. And I mean, back from when I was a kid, sort of picking apples in my grandma's orchard and then like selling them in the like kind of lemonade stand in the local market. I always had sort of ideas that I wanted to implement. I'm an engineer by trade, so I love building things and I love building processes and companies and creating value. So building up Coinberry was has been one of these really interesting and sort of fulfilling and challenging endeavors that I've been a part of for the past 2.5 years now.
That's awesome. Yeah, and some people say entrepreneurs are made and some are born. So it seems like you were born an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So how busy does your day look on a day-to-day with Coinberry and maybe with whatever else you've got going on?
Yeah. So no, I mean, right now Coinberry is the one and only project that I am involved in, and partly because it takes up like literally all of my time. It's my job. It's my hobby. It's everything that I do. So my day looks like I get woken up by I have a 3-year-old son and an 8-month-old daughter. So my son usually wakes me up around 7 in the morning. I quickly check my emails, take him to daycare, go to work, just work, come home, put him to bed, and you continue working. And you work until 11, 12, 1, 2, whatever it takes. I'm working pretty much all the time. There's no times when I'm not really, but it's not like I'm doing something that I love. I'm building a company that I feel very passionate about, and a technology that has the potential to change really the world more so than it already has. So for me, it's not really work per se. It's more like I'm enjoying. I'm loving everything that I do every single second. So that's why I'm doing it all the time, but it is tiring. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's not, sometimes I do get tired, but then it's like, oh man, but and that's the beauty of running your own business is, if you take a break and you don't do something, well, that one thing that you didn't do isn't gonna get done. So, that new partnership, that new project, that new, feature, that's not gonna be discussed. That's not gonna be developed. That's not gonna be advanced, right? So really, it's all up to how much you put into it, like whatever amount of energy and time and resources you put into Coinberry, that's how much you're gonna get back. So all the amazing all the amazing results that we've been able to achieve is because the whole team has this approach, and we're giving it 150%, so we're able to move extremely fast and achieve everything we've achieved. But it does come at the expense of doing a lot of work, right? So.
Yeah, no, it sounds like you've got 3 kids on your hands with Coinberry. With that being, can you just give us a bit of an introduction to Coinberry and what it's all about?
Sure, yeah. So Coinberry is a digital asset brokerage platform. So it is available to Canadians right now, and it provides for a service where you can buy and sell using Canadian dollars 5 of the main cryptocurrencies: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, and XRP. And you can do that at the absolute quickest turnaround time and some of the best pricing in the country. And I'm not being facetious, literally. I don't think there's any other company in Canada where you can actually buy and sell with Canadian dollars as fast as you can with Coinberry. And I mean, that comes, goes all the way from being able to fund your account, execute the trade and take the crypto off, or bringing crypto onto the platform, executing the trade and taking your money off. I mean, literally, I'm not even joking, we've had people do it in like 3 minutes from start to finish. So we've really spent a lot of time with our team and our tech team and our product design team to really build a product that's extremely easy to use, extremely safe and secure, but extremely fast as well. Because we live in the world where speed of service is everything. I mean, if people are used to being able to go on Amazon and buy, buy whatever good they want to buy and have it delivered, the same day, maybe next day. And so, when we were building out the company, you got to go back to early 2017. That wasn't around. Like, you had to literally go, sign up for a service, take a selfie of yourself, take photos of your like ID, send everything in to some random email address, and just wait to be approved. Then you had to send a wire. Again, you wait days. You hope it lands and you get credited. You get the credit on the platform, and then you buy, and then you hope you get your crypto out. I mean, so we were building a business at a time where things were a lot less efficient and a lot more shady, to be honest with you. And so our whole approach is how do we sort of flip that all around? How do we build a business that's extremely efficient, extremely fast, has great pricing, but is also extremely safe and secure as well. So our company, from day one, I mean, we were one of the first companies to get registered with FINTRAC, and actually we passed our FINTRAC audit very recently, which I'm very happy about. We're going through licensing with some of the OSC right now as well. So I mean, we're very forward thinking in terms of being compliant and building a business that answers to the mass, to the requirements of mass adoption. And you're not going to have mass adoption in the space until you have trusted platforms. It's just not going to happen. As much as Bitcoin and blockchain is completely trustless, but you still need those gateways to convert from fiat currency into crypto, and those gateways have to be extremely secure. They have to be extremely trusted, and so that's where we sit, and that's sort of what Coinberry is all about: is building a service which is just absolutely top of line, at some of the best prices, and I think the partnerships that we've been able to get with some of the government municipalities, with some of the merchants that we're working with, they speak for themselves. I mean, people really they connect with that sort of message and those values, really.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So what gave you the original idea for Coinberry, or like you and the other co-founder or or I don't, how many people originally founded
Yeah, so
Coinberry?
originally there was four of us, and so now there's two. The other two have been bought out, so now there's
Okay.
just two. And yeah, and I guess to answer your question, so right now it's myself and Evan Kuhn that are involved in the company still, and um, Evan and myself, we go back many years, and I was I mean, I've been in and out of the corporate world slash entrepreneurship, like as I said, pretty much my whole life, and I was actually in a corporate position. At the time, and I had a few discussions with my group of friends and with Evan specifically, and I said, hey, I'm thinking of I'm looking for a project to join, and we were just talking about different ideas, this and that, and we were actually, it was funny. So we were down south in Florida, and there was a group of friends that went down, and we all had to settle debts to each other at the end of the trip. Just a bunch of guys. So, there's debts that any group has to settle at the end of the trip for hotels, lunch, this, that, the other drinks. And the problem was that we had Canadians there, and we had people from the U.S. as well. And there was no easy way for us to really send money from Canada. From like myself being Canadian, I had no easy way to pay back my friends that were U.S. residents, because you can't. I mean, I could send a wire. I could arguably go to an ATM and get cash. We didn't have like Venmo here or anything. Like we don't have that. They don't have e-transfers. So really, there was no easy way to really pay somebody back other than going to an ATM, which is super expensive. And I think at the time we were on a beach, so nobody really wanted to go and find an ATM. And so one of those people in that group was Evan, and he said, hey guys, why don't we just do this all through Bitcoin? So we can all buy Bitcoin separately and just pay each other in Bitcoin. And that is exactly what we did. And it was amazingly fun, but it also was extremely eye-opening in that, we're like a regular group of people, and we just found a use case for this new technology. Well, chances are there's millions, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people that can benefit from this technology for their own use cases. So anyway, so fast forward a few months, and I was having this discussion with Evan about starting up new projects, and he said, hey, there's a lot of opportunity in this industry because it's really nascent. It's not nobody really doing it professionally. He's like, you got an engineering degree, you got an MBA. We're looking to start a business. Do you want to come and like help us run it? So I said, sure. So I ended up quitting my very comfortable corporate job and moved cities. Came back to Toronto with my family and started Coinberry. And so that's sort of that's how Coinberry came about to be. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
kind of
no,
story.
that's awesome. It's a little group of friends that evolved into something huge. That's a great startup story for sure. So So you talked before a little bit about how you guys have partnered with municipal governments. I think that's really interesting, and I read on your site that you guys work with them for helping people to pay or do tax payment processing. Can you speak a little to that?
Yeah. So about just over a year ago, in August of last year, we were put in touch with the town of Innisfil, which is just north of Toronto, and they had this amazing project they did with Uber previously, where they basically replaced their entire transit system by Uber, which worked really well for them, and I found that to be really sort of innovative. So we kind of knew they were a good audience for innovative ideas and projects. So we were put in touch with them, and I came in. I pitched them on the idea of providing a new service for their residents, giving their residents the ability to pay for their property taxes using cryptocurrency. And I mean, over like 8 9 months, a lot of discussions and just educating their team on how this would work, addressing all the risks that they kind of foresaw, addressing some of the risks they didn't foresee, and mitigating some of the risks that they thought existed that didn't really exist. All the way through to presenting to their council, having council sessions as well, and having an unanimous vote on allowing the residents of the town of Innisfil to actually pay their taxes through the Innisfil website, but processed by Coinberry. So the town itself gets the settlement is made in Canadian dollars because they're not allowed to actually hold cryptocurrency yet. But hopefully in the near future, then the town will be able to actually hold cryptocurrency themselves, and then we won't be needing to actually settle either. So yeah, so I think in May of this year we went live with the feature. So now if you go on the town of Innisfil website, then you go pay taxes. There's a button, pay with Bitcoin, and that takes you to the town's address with Coinberry, with a Bitcoin address, and you can sort of type in how much you want to pay in Canadian dollars, and you convert that into Bitcoin, and you send the Bitcoin, and everything, all the conversion, all the settlement takes place behind the scenes. So yeah, I mean, it provides a new service to residents. It positions Coinberry very well to work with other municipalities, because we obviously have a proven concept that's been live now for a number of months, and it really showcases Innisfil's really innovative and forward-thinking sort of philosophy as well.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It would be great to see Canada becoming more of a hub for different blockchain projects and just like moving that space forward. I also read that you guys partnered with CycleBit for point of sale crypto payments in Canada, which I thought was also really interesting and really important for mass adoption. Would you like to touch on that a little bit as well?
Sure, yeah. So CycleBit is a European POS machine manufacturer, and so their machines, they allow merchants to accept payments made like using credit cards, but using cryptocurrency as well. So they were looking to expand into the Canadian market, and so we partnered with them, and so we will be processing all the payments made in cryptocurrency, like a merchant acquirer, in the back end for their Canadian merchants, which is extremely exciting. And again, you're absolutely right. It allows for individuals to actually start using cryptocurrency in day-to-day transactions, and answers that very important question of what do I do with my Bitcoin now that I bought it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, and I think it's so important that we have easy to use like point of sale transactions and systems set up for mass adoption, really, because the biggest thing you'll get asked these days is like, well, what can I, like, where can I actually spend this in my day-to-day life? So I think that's such a huge like resistant point that you guys are tackling. What are some of the big changes in the works for Coinberry, and or like what's coming out soon?
So we have some really cool projects that we're working with. So, I mean, when Innisfil went live, we were approached by a whole number of municipalities, and so Richmond Hill recently voted to enter into a partnership with Coinberry as well for a similar service for their residents. So and there's a number of other municipalities we're in the talks with right now. So, we're putting in place, it's pretty much the architecture to allow municipalities to actually interact and utilize cryptocurrency. And yeah, the first sort of lowest hanging fruit is tax payment processing, but it goes above and beyond that. So there's a lot of really interesting projects we're working on with municipalities, and sort of expanding on those services and creating a much larger network. And that will allow municipalities potentially to issue their own currencies if they choose to as well. That allows their residents to now benefit, from whether it's decreased, just basic incentives to use currencies that the municipalities may choose to issue on their own accord.
Yeah, no, I could see like some future use case of it's like if you're using their coin for public transit or whatever it might be, you might get some sort of like discount or incentive.
Well,
I could
exactly.
definitely see that being like widely adopted amongst other municipalities. Is
Yeah,
absolutely.
and this project took. I mean, in Calgary last year, they launched the Calgary dollar. It wasn't really a cryptocurrency; it was more of a point system. So it doesn't have sort of the benefits of that crypto would have. So we're looking to build on that much more, and really sort of allow municipalities and residents to benefit from the technology to a fuller extent than currently available.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So how does Coinberry fit in with other similar exchanges and like in Canada and just in general?
Yeah, so Coinbase is not an exchange, right? So remember what I said at the very beginning, we're a broker, right? So you're able to actually buy and sell cryptocurrency from on our platform, but you're really buying and selling from us. So
Yeah,
Coinbase
no
is not
worries.
really it's not an exchange in any capacity. Like you can't go on the platform and we don't match buyers and sellers in any extent. When you buy on our platform, you're buying from Coinbase, and when you sell on our platform, you're selling from Coinbase. And then what we do is we plug into a number of liquidity providers globally, and we source best pricing from them. So the differentiation factor right away is we're not an exchange. But
Yeah, fair
above and
enough.
beyond that, you got to keep in mind that the Canadian market for exchange and broker services, I mean, is relatively small. It's actually extremely small compared to the global market. So my personal opinion is that there's no place in Canada with the size of the market for exchanges per se. Case in point, our company allows you to buy to acquire cryptocurrency at much more competitive rates than most Canadian exchanges because we source on the global market. So, you know, the, if you actually go on a Canadian exchange to buy crypto with Canadian dollars, you're doing that purely because you don't know that there's a better way to get your hands on cryptocurrency. Like literally, that is the only reason you would be doing it. And so what we focus on is solving that problem because I mean when I was starting out, right, and I wanted to get my hands on cryptocurrency, and I had Canadian dollars. That first sort of step is the hardest one. Once you get, let's say, Bitcoin, you have full liquidity, you have full control of your asset, and you can go on any global exchange and you can do your trading, or if you want to, if you're just holding it, you can hodl. But that first step is crucial because that's the biggest barrier to entry, right? So that's
Mhm.
what we focus on. We focus on that one very important barrier that really needs to be broken down for people to then actually acquire the crypto, and then they can do whatever they want with it. They can go on some of the massive, huge global exchanges with like insane liquidity books, and that beat out the Canadian market 1,000 times to one, just because of the size of those markets and the amount of people that are on them. Or if you're looking to just hodl and you just want to buy and hold, you can do that too. But you don't really need. I don't think you really need a Canadian-based exchange. Now, I mean, I may be proven wrong, but that's my philosophy. So
Fair enough.
what we focus on with that philosophy is that one barrier, with fully, compliant know your client and anti-money laundering, procedures in place. How do we make it so that Canadian, residents are able to buy their Bitcoin using Canadian dollars and sell their Bitcoin using Canadian dollars as easily as possible, as quickly as possible, and as safely and securely. So, and that's really what we've honed in on, we have a great service that does that, and I think it's really like our users are really loving what we do, and so I think we have a very we're very comfortable in the place in the whole ecosystem where we sit, because we think we're solving a real problem, um,
Mhm.
and not just jumping on the bandwagon of opening a crypto exchange, which took
Yeah,
place a couple of years ago. Everybody was opening a crypto exchange. That was like the thing to do.
yeah, fair enough, and that I feel like that really differentiates you from a lot of the other exchanges that I've seen and use myself. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think it's really important for people to really understand that distinction as well between just an exchange or brokerage. Um,
And so
so
just to expand on that a little, so
yeah, yeah.
so we're available on iOS, on Android, on the web. We have an amazing app that just gives you, like, you can basically sign up and just set up a schedule where you want to buy like $10 or $100 or whatever amount of crypto a week or a day or a month, and you just set it and forget it. So it's all about that convenience that we work on. Super easy to use interfaces, super easy to use apps, and but the other more, probably as equally important point is the trust and the safety and the security. So we, from day one when we started the company, we focused on being fully compliant and building a business that's, professionally ran and is, and, focuses on those sort of pillars. And the fact that we've been able to land, contracts with the government, I think, speaks volumes to, first of all, the importance of building systems that are secure and trusted, but B, also the fact that they're not only important from the point of view of the security of assets, but they're also important for the end consumer. Like, this is something that in the crypto space, as in many other industries, people are very sensitive to. I mean, they're looking for platforms that are very secure, very safe, and they trust. And then, if on top of that they're easy to use and convenient and well priced, I mean, like, what else do you need, kind of thing. So that's why when we've been talking with, the city of Richmond Hill and town of Innisfil and all the other municipalities we're currently talking to, we've proven sort of our approach, and that sort of we're the real deal kind of thing, and that's opened a ton of doors. I mean, like, we were one of the first companies to get our financials audited. Like I said, we're going through licensing with the OSC right now, so we got policies and procedures through the roof, and that's important, I think. And you need more businesses like ours, as far as I'm concerned, in Canada, because that's the only thing that's going to make this industry really explode and make the masses, comfortable in actually getting into this space. Because so far you have the early adopters, people that are willing to take the risk because they see the benefit. But most people
Mhm.
not willing to take the risk until they see, platforms and businesses that they trust, become available.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Would you say that you guys are probably one of the only brokerages then in the space, or at least like in Canada?
Yeah, I think at the level that we're at, we're probably the only ones, to be completely honest with you, because we've taken it to such an extreme level of, compliance and partnerships, that, I mean, we've yeah, like I said, I think we've been audited so many times that I dream auditing when I go to bed. But yeah, but that's important, again, because that's what you need for people to actually be comfortable, for, whether it's consumers or institutional clients, to be comfortable with using your platforms. Because at the end of the day, there's platforms in Canada that failed, that didn't do things right. So, and everybody,
Yeah,
it wasn't so long ago, it was this year, right? So
yeah, yeah,
people
yeah,
still
yeah.
remember.
No,
People have a short
yeah,
memory, but
people.
not that short, right? So,
Yeah,
um, so yeah, so that, focusing on that safety, security, and trust factor is, I don't think anybody else is doing it to the level we are.
yeah. No, I mean, I definitely haven't seen any major competitors in that space at all. Would you say, or sorry, what where are you guys headed for the next like 5 years, or maybe in just like the next year? Like, what does your long term roadmap sort of look like?
Yeah. So in general, we are firm believers that, the application of blockchain to financial services as a whole, is more efficient than what currently exists. So, we're looking to build out, that new age financial institution. I don't want to use the word bank because it has connotations, but that new age financial institution that allows individuals to control their assets, allows the individuals to move their assets freely, to pay for services, goods and services freely without incurring, crazy fees that at the end of the day, the credit card companies charge. They're just hidden in the price of the product and service you use. You go to a small convenience store, and quite often they don't accept payments with credit card under $10. Why do you think that is? It's because they pay the credit card companies, and makes they lose money when the amount is not large enough. But that amount is still, regardless of what you buy, you're overpaying. Whether it's a cup of coffee or a sofa or your gym membership, you're overpaying 2-3% for every single purchase. Imagine how much that adds up to over your lifetime. I mean, these are tens of thousands of dollars that are being used up through due to the inefficiency of the current system. And so we strongly believe that as we work on more products, as we expand, and the partnership with Cyclebit is a great example of that. As we branch out from simply allowing people to buy crypto to now actually starting to allow people to use crypto, whether it's paying at merchants that accept cryptocurrency payments, or paying your taxes, or paying services for the towns you live in. I mean, that's where you really start to see the benefit to the end consumer. You see the benefit to the average sort of Joe in using cryptocurrency. And cryptocurrency is just, as I said, is just one of the many applications of blockchain to an industry where there's an actual benefit. Because there was a time when people would use blockchain in everything and anything, or at least claim to, or at least try to. And
like Facebook.
Yeah, and well, yeah, that's a story. You know what? There's good and bad with the Facebook story, because on the one hand, it really gave a stamp of approval from the corporate world, but then obviously it's Facebook, and it's not, it wasn't really a cryptocurrency, because I mean there was like 5 or 10 companies that came together. It's arguably there's a lot of cryptocurrencies out there that are not cryptocurrencies either, right? So
that is very true. That is absolutely true.
So it depends on your definition, kind of thing. But anyway, so that's our plan for the next 5 to 10 years, is to really continue to build out that new age blockchain-based financial institution. It's exciting.
Yeah. No, that sounds like you guys are really tackling a lot of the big problems and providing a lot of or like aiming to provide a lot of solutions to those problems as well. So what does your current user base size look like, and how well is it growing, or what do the projections generally look like?
Yeah, so I mean, we've our user base doubled over the last I would say 6 to 8 months. The fact that there was an exchange in Canada that closed doors earlier this year was a blessing in disguise for us, because there was a lot of people that were looking to for, again, trusted platforms that they were not going to get burned with. And so we gained a lot of users that way. We're growing aggressively. We've got tens of thousands of users in Canada. We have about over 100,000 users internationally that try to sign up on the platform. We're only available to Canadians at the moment, but it's always a question that comes up, because there is a lot of demand. Again, the Coinberry brand. I mean, we've been when the partnerships with Instant Enrichment came out, we were covered by over like 100, not 100, over 1,000 news outlets globally. So there's a lot of international sort of recognition of the Coinberry name, and again, people are looking for a trusted service globally. It's not just a Canadian problem. It's a problem, like there's exchanges that there's a bunch of exchanges that closed doors this year internationally, and so people are looking for platforms that are robust, that are trusted, and especially platforms that work with the government. So anyway, all that to say that there's a lot of demand for Coinberry to expand internationally, but for the foreseeable time being, we're focused on the Canadian market, North American market, I should say, and we're going quite well. It's been very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are definitely making way for Canada to eventually be leading in the space, since and then hopefully you'll bring more people here because of it. So then, last but not least, can you share where everyone can go and learn more about Coinberry?
Absolutely. So the best place would be our website, www.coinberry.com. That's that has a lot of information. It's got links to sign up to. It's got links for the App Store, the Play Store. You can Google Coinberry and all of our partnerships. There's a ton of like CBC and kind of articles, Global Mail kind of thing on the partnerships that we've had we've launched to date. We have a blog as well on our website that we talk about some cool things on that it's cool to check out. But yeah, our website is the best place to check us out.
Awesome. And is there anything else that you'd like to share with the audience before we end this off?
No, I just want to really thank you for the opportunity to sort of share our story so far, and it's a really exciting time for us, and we wouldn't be in business if it wasn't for for our users and so we appreciate the users that we have, and we're always looking for. As I said, we're literally always very happy to hear the feedback that we get, because if it's good, it's great because it's a recognition of what we're doing right. And if it's not good, then it really it's equally valuable because it allows us to improve on what we're doing, so that we do end up providing a product that people actually want and need. So no, again, just wanted to thank your listeners, and thank you as well for giving me an opportunity to share our story.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I think even I learned a little bit, and I mean, if people want to go and get the cheapest, fastest crypto that they can get, Coinberry is the place to go. So make sure you go check out coinberry.com.
Cheers. Thank you.
And thanks again for coming on. Cheers.
All right.